Welcome back, friends. LostScarf here, and it's time for Countdown to the End. The last one before the end. Captain Marvel. Okay, so, quick admission, I hate Captain Marvel. The character. This movie, though, different universe, different thing. Clean slate, that's how you should be about it. Not bad. Okay, so, we're going to talk about the movie before we see the movie, and then we see the movie, and then we talk about after seeing the movie. So what I remember, because this is going to be the second time watching it, I remember it's so 90s. It is so 90s. And it was very much a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. Because if you didn't make all these obvious 90s jokes, people would complain about that. That is the thing. But also making them, people are going to complain about that. Like, you had to make fun of the slow internet. You had to make fun of just the stores of the time. Just things like that had to be referenced because they were pushing really hard in the 90s. And for me, I felt like they did push too hard in the 90s, but what are you going to do? It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. And for me, it suffers because of that. There's interesting references in there. It's not bad. It's a fun movie for the most part. Samuel Jackson is a big part of why it does so well for me. Because he's just very fun in there with her. Like, they're very buddy-buddy in that, and they're fun together. My problem with Brie Larson's character, she's just really good at being emotionless in this movie. There's a whole lot of control your emotions. She's doing a very good job of it. Like, she's doing way too good a job of it. I'm hoping she's way more animated in Endgame. Because there's little moments where she's having fun beating people up in this movie. And those are the parts I like there. And this version of Captain Marvel I'm liking because she's a fighter. She has fun being a fighter. And the idea behind who she is and what she is kind of interesting. I kind of like it. There's just maybe too much 90s in here. Also, just the way they utilize music here as opposed to how Guardians of the Galaxy uses music. I felt like they looked at Guardians and they wanted to do music too. And it just didn't feel as done as well as Guardians does it. And it was fine the first couple times, and then like the last time I'm like, okay, I'm over it. These are things I remember. The Stan Lee cameo I remember. This is the second. Okay, in the MCU, it's the first Stan Lee cameo post-death. It's the second one in general because he had one in Into the Spider-Verse. And it's just, there's a feeling there seeing Stan Lee's cameo. And also, the tribute to Stan Lee. The tribute to Stan Lee is really good. I like that a lot. Overall, I like the movie. I like the movie. There's good acting. There's a lot of good actors and a lot of good seeds being planted for future movies as well. And I like it. I like it. I don't know where it's going to rank. I think there's parts of it that could have been better, could have been tighter. But for the most part, it's pretty good. Also, doesn't matter what I think. It broke $1 billion. I forgot. Yeah, it broke $1 billion. Budget was about 152. So pretty good. Almost made 10 times its budget. Good job on them there. And we'll see how the next Captain Marvel goes and everything like that. But we'll talk about more of that after seeing the movie. Since I'm trying not to spoil anything in case anyone's seeing this before seeing the movie, because it is still in theaters. So, yeah. That's everything, so let's go see the movie. Movie over. Okay, so we forgot to do a tag, like just a summary of the movie. This one is... we originally put, and we could have put at the start, was just Supergirl Stands Up. But another one is just Supergirl Reminds Us Chumbawamba had a good song. Another one is, we don't have a thing for Nick Fury. Like... Surprisingly Calm Angry Man, that's good. Surprisingly Calm Angry Man has way too many bromances. Like him and Coulson for a moment, and then it's him and Talos, him and that cat, him and Carol. He's just everyone's friend. It's so interesting to have him be everyone's buddy in this, and then years later he becomes everyone's spy master. Like, it's interesting what became of Fury. Apparently having a cat scratch your eye out will really do it to you. My main complaint of this movie is two things. It leans, the leaning on the 90s could have been done, I guess, better. And the other one is too much prequelitis in that there's just too many things get answered in this movie. Like, we don't need to know how Fury lost his eye. We don't need to know how Fury lost his eye. What are the other ones? All of a sudden, I forgot the other ones right now. Oh yeah, the Avengers, where he got the Avengers from. Those are the big ones, is those two, I suppose. It's interesting. Like, it's a good movie. It's enjoyable. It's definitely enjoyable. I just part of it probably is because I'm not a big fan of Captain Marvel, but part of it is just um yeah, I think it's just the '90s leanings kind of bugs me a little bit. But there are things I really like. When the it's not the subway, but like when they're in the fight in the electric car and she's beating up the old lady, I like that the bystanders try to stop Carol. Because that never happens in any movie. Usually bystanders just watch two people punch each other. No one gets involved. And this one, people actually get involved. So I think that was an interesting thing there. Everything Nick Fury is just fun. Like, it's fun. And then everything with Coulson I like, where it's just Coulson just comes and is like, hey, guys, I got the evidence. Where the hell did everyone go? It's like, oh, snap, Coulson's a Skrull. And just like, that was a really cool moment. And just, I don't know, everything Nick Fury is really fun in this movie. He's a lot of fun. When Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, lets loose, she's really fun as well. And what's his name? What is the bad guy's name? Shoot, I can't remember his name. Is Yanrog really? Um, him. I kept hoping he was actually secretly a good guy anyway. Like, he's just doing duty, and in the end, he's like, when he's at the end, where he's like, "I'm so proud of you." I thought it was like, "Oh, he's proud of her." Okay, and now they're just gonna shake, and he's gonna leave. Then he's like, "Let's have the one-on-one fight," and then she blasts him, which is perfect. There, she's like, "I don't need to prove anything to you," which is such a statement. Like, I really feel like if you want to take it as a girl power thing, you can, but you don't have to. You can also just take it as a person just taking their character back, really, or just take it as a human story as well, because that is kind of the human condition. Is we just get back up, we get knocked down, we get up again, and anyone gonna keep us down. That's just what happens. I couldn't give a straight face. I couldn't give a straight face. It's stuck in my head now. But oh god, was that a '90s song, by the way? I can't remember when that song came out. Um but it's not a bad movie at all. Like, it's a fun movie. It's enjoyable. I think Phase 3 there's no duds. I really don't think there's any. Thinking about what was in Phase 3. Yeah, I don't think there's any duds in Phase 3, are there? Like, the Thors weren't so great. Iron Man, I'll say 2 wasn't so great. 3 I thought was fine. I think the weakest of Phase 3 is maybe Doctor Strange for me. I think that's it. And even then, that was still a good movie. Uh, can't remember what else was in Phase 3. It's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Infinity War, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. Other movies happened. Oh, Thor 3. I don't know if I said that already. Yeah, I think Phase 3's been pretty good, unless somehow Endgame's really terrible, which couldn't possibly be happening. But Endgame's next, by the way. Is there anything else to mention? The guy who plays Talos. I can't remember his name all of a sudden. Mendelsohn. Ben Mendelsohn? I think that's his name. Mendelsohn is just a fun villain who's not actually. He's a fun antagonist until he's not an antagonist. He's just fun. A lot of moves with him were just fun. I like this actor. Like, he's typecast as the villain, which is why it worked out so well to make him be Talos before the turn. And yeah, he's just a fun actor. I like him. I definitely like him. I like how much fun he was to watch in this, and everyone is in general. I wish I knew the name of the actress who played Rambo. She's amazing. Her acting is top notch in this movie. She's not in much of the movie, but she's really good in the part she's in, and it's just a very enjoyable movie. Anything else to say? Well, there's a bunch of random facts to mention, like the bearded guy who's part of the Kree fighters. Can't remember his name right now, but that guy, the one who had like maybe one line in the movie, He's actually one of the few characters who have broken Captain America's shield in the comics. Also, another thing to mention is Talos in the comics cannot shift, so it's very interesting that he can in the movies. And he talks about how, dare he say, that you need some talent. It's interesting that he's like a great warrior in the comics because he can't shift, like he made up for it. And really, I thought he was dead. I thought he was gonna die. I thought he was gonna die, and his child would remember that and seek revenge later as Super Skrull. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I really expected that, but no, he's alive, so good for him. Although that could still get set up in Captain Marvel 2. I assume Marvel 2 would be still a prequel kind of thing. Well, it's a sequel to her thing. She's out in space, but she wouldn't be dealing with all the stuff that's happening with the MCU necessarily. Because, what was it? It was the 90s, and things happening right now are like 20 years later, so all that stuff's done with by the time. So we'll probably see whatever stories they want to do with that. They could always have her second movie have her dealing with whatever, and it sets up Galactus or it sets up some other big bad for sure. Oh yeah, she never gets the name Captain Marvel. My assumption is going to be an Endgame. She's gonna say she's Marvel or whatever. Just keep that name. And when Captain America leaves, he's gonna pass the torch and say, "You're the captain now." I assume that's gonna happen at Endgame, and I assume they reshot that because everyone made that assumption. So it doesn't happen in the movie. I don't know. I think that's just a fair assumption that someone's going to call her captain, either because of rank or Captain America just makes her the leader of the Avengers, saying you're the captain now. Something like that's going to happen. And yeah, Captain Marvel. At least that's the assumption. The next video is going to be interesting because it's going to be, well, we're going to record it. It's going to be like I guess it'll be what we think is going to happen in Endgame. Then we see Endgame, and then we just react the hell out of what we saw with Endgame. I assume that's how the next video is going to be. But I think all that's left is the rankings. So the final rankings right now is Infinity War, Avengers, Guardians 2, Thor 3, Guardians, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Black Panther, Avengers 2, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Iron Man 3, Thor, Thor 2, Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 2. And Captain Marvel earns the great spot of last place. No. Infinity War beats it. Avengers beats it, yeah. Guardians 2 beats it. Thor 3 beats it. Winter Soldier, Guardians, Civil War. No, I think I enjoyed Black Panther more. Avengers 2? Ant-Man, Spider-Man, Captain America. I don't know, I could see Spider-Man again. I've watched Ant-Man so many times. So much hemming and hawing. Yeah, okay, okay. I am putting Captain Marvel above Captain America and Spider-Man and under Ant-Man. So it's gonna be in, oh god, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 11, 12th place. So the 21st movie is the 12th movie on my list. Ain't that something? And where's the rank up for Jinx? Right below Spider-Man. So 8th place for Jinx. Can't trust Jinx with any ranking now. I'm kidding. Okay, so she's got Infinity War, Winter Soldier, Avengers, Thor 3, Avengers 2, Civil War, Spider-Man, and then Captain Marvel? Better than Guardians 2? Okay, yeah, Guardians 2 does have some flaws, but so does Captain Marvel. Okay, alright. You can't, if the horse doesn't want to drink the water, nothing you can do about it. So that's Jinx's ranking. So 8th place? My 8th place for Jinx, 12th place for me. And that's the list. And then I guess we'll see where Endgame ranks up in tomorrow's video. It's gonna be interesting how this one goes. Yeah, and then that'll be it. And then we'll never watch these movies ever again. Yeah, I'm really interested to see if they do any setup for Phase 4, or if it's just gonna be the end here, and then that's it. And then just wait for the next movies to give you an idea what Phase 4 is gonna be about. Or, that's the thing, are they just gonna close it there, or are they gonna have some hints as to who's gonna be the next big bad? Because I think it'd be better if they just tie a bow on it and it's the end here, and then things will keep happening, and they don't need to have a lead up to what's going to be the next thing. I'd rather just be it's the end game, so it is the end of an era. But we will see. So yeah. We're almost at the end here. Oh my god. For now, that right there is the video. I had fun talking. Hope you have fun watching and listening. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.